Hey everybody, my name's Allie. I'm back today in the lovely Coleman Theater at the Rotary Arts Center with the wonderful Louise Gautier. Did I?
Hello. Yes, you
Yeah,
got that
right. Okay, great, cool. I was practicing it last night.
Nice. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Oh, of course. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. So we were just chatting a little bit last night. Louise has been running CB Nuit for the last since its inception here, correct?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Cool.
So we're going into our 6th year.
Whoa, that's awesome. That's more, for some reason I thought it was 5th because 2017, 17, 18, 19. Wow.
Time flies.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I was really happy to attend last summer. I hadn't been here before that, but it was such a memorable evening, such a great night, and I know you guys have a lot planned this year, sort of for the festival, and there's some things going on outside of the timeline of the festival as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're just here today to kind of talk about what's coming up, some exciting plans, and the festival more generally, and your involvement. Maybe if I could just sort of start by asking you, for any of our viewers who are not familiar with CB Nuit, kind of what it is and where it comes from, and how you sort of got involved in this project here in Corner Brook.
Okay. Well, it's an art festival, but it's not just a visual arts festival. It's a multidiscipline art festival.
Yeah.
It happens at nighttime.
Cool.
And it is part of the first ones happened in France. Nuit Blanche from France, right?
White night, is that?
White night, exactly. Yep. Like a white night. Well, Nuit Blanche means that you're staying up all night.
Oh,
J'ai eu une nuit blanche. Like, yeah.
It's like an all-nighter.
An all-nighter, exactly.
Right. Okay, cool.
It's exactly it. So then other, bigger cities did. Toronto, Montreal, Vancouver have been having it for years. And the story is, and is the truth, that David Smallwood, I think, attended Montreal, maybe Toronto Nuit Blanche, and really loved it. And when the Canada 150 celebrations happened, Canada 150 plus celebrations happened in 2017, he applied for a grant to actually have a Nuit Blanche here in Corner Brook.
Right, okay.
So David Small was kind of responsible for this. He had the idea.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. And then so the two of you kind of came together over organizing, or how did that sort of...
Well, we sort of got because we're such a rich arts community with the visual arts and theater arts program at Grenfell, and then all the really great community arts organizations like TNL and Dance Studio West. So there's just so much going on that these meetings happened to try to get everybody together and figure out what we were going to do. And there were a couple of people from the visual arts department, Heather Lear and Diana Chisholm, who kind of knew the recipe because they'd been at other art at night festivals in other cities.
Right, yeah, I know Diana.
So they knew how they worked. So they kind of told me the recipe, and I said, hey, I'd like to lead this. So David gave me the reins, and then the rest is history.
Oh my goodness, that's so amazing! It's so ambitious. I mean, I know people who have sort of gotten together to start festivals in the past or to sort of run them, and it's such a, from what I can tell, such a labor of love. One, requires so much understanding, I think, of arts and the arts community, and sort of how to interact with artists. I know that you are a multidisciplinary artist as well.
Yeah, and that's either because I just can't commit to one thing, or I'm really curious about them all. But I've managed to put my foot in many different disciplines. Like I trained as a theater artist in Toronto and worked as a theater artist for several years there. And then when I moved to Newfoundland, I got into visual arts and got into some more music, puppeteering, and different things. So I kind of have a nice sort of connection, creative connection to all of the different arts. But what I love is when they come together. I love when they cross-pollinate, it's sort of a fancy word, cross-pollinate.
Cross-pollinate,
when they, and that's what we try to encourage artists to do. with the festival is to like, you know, grab someone from the theater as a visual artist, come together and create something unique
Totally.
and something large because we're on the street. Bigger the better.
Yeah.
More spectacle the better. And and then it's always just a great surprise around early June, late May, early June when we get all the submissions. It's just like opening Christmas presents. All the emails come in and we're like, holy moly. You know, we got great reception last year. It was like the biggest amount of number of, we had to go through so many. And we only accepted about half of them.
Oh my goodness, no way.
Seriously, it was like, wow, yeah.
That's really exciting. I mean, like it's because, I was attending and sort of performing in last year's and we got to walk through the street and it was remarkable. I mean, you say size, like it's, you know, the whole of West Street is blocked off for this, right? There's no traffic running through. And yeah, some of the projections took up, you know, half of the facade of the Hue and Draw, for example, or, you know, on the side of the Ultramar, there was like a whole wall there. And I thought it was really cool because like, I'm from Corner Brook, I've grown up here, you know, been on West Street 8 million times. And you kind of, it defamiliarizes the space for you. So it's like this familiar space that everything on it is very reminiscent of, you know, like Corner Brook and just being from here and the feeling. But then everything is sort of inverted in this kind of
that's
spooky,
really cool
way.
That's really cool. So you're like experiencing the street in a new way.
Yeah.
After having like, it's in your bones. Like at my hometown, like if something like, I can imagine if something happened in my hometown, it'd be like, whoa, like this, I never imagined that this could happen on this building or in this space or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Like you're kind of, I mean, you know, not to get too into detail, but being like a teenager hiding out behind the Ultramar or whatever, just like drinking beers or whatever.
Right.
And
all the memories sort of pop up and then you're like, oh, and someone's put some flowers around my memory a little bit.
Yeah. Somebody's put this like really interesting, colorful projection into this space that I've never really like consciously occupied, especially with other people. So that was super cool. Also, I mean, the last person I was talking to here was Jessie Donaldson. She did that beautiful, shadowy,
incredible artist. Yeah,
totally.
And that's our community project, actually. And love to talk about that one in particular.
Yeah, please. Yeah.
So in 2017, we did the first festival, and then 2018. I was like, we weren't sure if we were going to make it a biennale, which is every 2 years, or make it a yearly event. And so a lot of the project deadlines for grants had been missed. Like we just missed them. So we were like, man, we don't have any money this year. So should we do a biennale? And it was like we had 3,000 people on the street. So we were like, we got to keep this going. We're going to lose the momentum if we don't make it yearly.
Yeah.
So I went on this huge corporate sponsorship, trying to find corporate sponsorship. I raised like over $6,000, which is not a lot of money.
It's a lot to sort of raise, like to bring it upon yourself to raise.
Yeah. So I did that. I paid security, paid the artists, and got Allie Johnson to create a website for us.
Nice.
So those 3 things got done.
Yeah.
I said, this is a labor of love on my part. I really believe in this festival. And we did half the street, which doesn't make any difference. It's as much production work as the whole street. But anyway, it was successful. And
what year was that?
That was 2018. Okay. But the thing that we created in 2018 was the community project. That's where I was going with this.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Because the community project is something that we bring to the schools and we bring to local groups, and then we have this event on the Friday night where anybody in the community can come and contribute to it.
Cool.
Yeah, so it's like, it really is, and it kind of really supports the idea that I have, like, just myself, like, that art belongs to everybody and everybody is just innately creative.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the community project really gives the opportunity for people to come and like create a part of something that and then gets installed along the, you know, the art projects that are some professional, some not professional, but just everybody's art is out there together.
That's so nice. Yeah, and I mean with that one, I didn't see the one from any of them for previous years, but I know that Jessie's installation last year, it would be so a lot of kids made pieces.
Yeah.
And imagine how exciting it would be to be, just like a kid who's just sort of starting to experience, little crafts and making things, and then you see the thing you made sort of up on this beautiful big kind of screen on display for everyone
so
to
many people
admire.
to see it, and alongside the other projects. Yeah, I think it's really special for them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it was really cool. I wanted to ask you too about so the sort of digital element of this festival. I mean, as everybody knows, in light of sort of the pandemic, a lot of community arts things have sort of shifted in terms of accessibility and in terms of whether they're happening in person, whether they're happening online. And
we really had to shift. We really had to pivot. I mean, we had everything set to go, and it was not set to go, but I mean, we had plans for an in-person festival. We had plans and sort of potential plans for anchor acts and stuff, and then we just thought, oh, okay, so that's not happening. What are we going to do? Are we canceling the festival this year?
Yeah.
And then we thought, no, let's go digital, like a lot of people do.
Yeah.
But then it was Allie Johnston's idea to go, why don't we create a virtual West Street?
Right, and I've heard about, like, people have been, people talk about the festival, but I've really heard about this virtual West Street and how, I don't have a lot of technological knowledge, but people are very impressed by it. So, if you could.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So it was, we kind of went, okay, so we usually give this amount of money to our anchor acts, like our big, and that's a whole other conversation actually that we should have about anchor acts, but we're just trying to move away from that whole idea a little bit too, just to support emerging artists a little bit more.
Right.
But that money that we had set for that, we put it towards digital artists.
Cool.
2 digital artists, so they completely designed, created, embedded the projects. So each artist had an artist page on Virtual West Street, and within that artist page you could click on a link to get to a video, or click on a link to get to a Facebook live stream where you could see like Alexandra Antle beating her moose hide.
Oh, wow.
And then people were making suggestions like, I'd like to see a fish because that's the Humber River, and the kind of fish that I've always known to live in the Humber River, or that plant.
So they would sort of weigh in, and
she was conversating with them, and then she would bead this in and bead that in, and so that was a really great project. And other projects were super cool too. Like people were mailed a magnifying glass, and they just had to find a piece of wood, some kind of wood surface, and instructions on how to use the sun to burn into the wood.
Oh, wow.
And then they sent in their videos of themselves doing it, or their pictures of their project. And we featured all of those on Virtual West Street as well. So there was a lot of cool stuff. And our community project was really cool.
What was the community project that year?
We told everybody, like, and it's all about sustainability of the community project. You're not supposed to, like, buy too much to create it. So it's very all about, reduce, reuse, recycle. Like, that's a big part of the mandate for the community project.
Nice. That's great.
So we told everyone, just collect whatever you can. Get something from your house, because everyone's in their bubbles, and create something. So wearable art is what we called it.
Oh,
so
cool.
You can paint your face, or you can create something or whatever. And then we've got Tom Cochran, who can come by your place and photograph you.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
And then it all got put together by an artist who was commissioned from Calgary, because we were able to do it.
Right.
Ili, can't remember her last name now, but she did a beautiful job of a digital presentation of all these little pixels of pictures with CB, all of us everywhere. So anyway.
That's beautiful.
It was fun.
I love that idea. And I mean, it's cool how, this moment, despite the challenges, I'm sure, of pivoting to a pandemic, one thing it seems like this moment, especially now as things are shifting a little bit more, is sort of presenting to artists and community arts admin organizations, is this sense that it's possible to sort of involve you know, artists who aren't here or artists like even in other countries, and have this sort of collective sense of like, for example, you're getting Jeremy Dutcher here next week, which is huge and really cool.
This is our first off-season event.
Yeah.
As a result of the sort of come home year funding.
Right.
And also some extra funding that we had from Canadian Heritage. And we thought, it's not our usual thing to do something unless it's the fall festival, but we thought, hey, we can put some money in artists' hands and pockets. So we decided to go for it. So the Arts and Culture Center partnered up with us.
Yeah.
And we're going to feature Jeremy Dutcher.
That's so cool. For anyone who doesn't know about Jeremy, he's a player. I think he won Polaris in 2021, correct? He's an Indigenous.
Just won it.
Yeah.
He's a tenor. He's an Indigenous artist, and he's classically, like Western classically trained in music.
Yeah.
And then he dug into his ancestry and found these recordings of the Wolastoq people who are his community from New Brunswick.
Yeah.
And old recordings of singing old traditional songs. And so he incorporates that, and he sings as well in the language. Right. But he's a tenor and an incredible piano player.
So it's very powerful
experience. I haven't seen him yet, and I'm so looking forward to it.
Yeah, he's really great. I've seen him. I mean, he played Woody Point a few years ago.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
I think I mentioned to you, one of my really good friends was touring with him as a sort of tour manager and sound person for a while, and I saw him through that. And anyone who hasn't seen him, treat yourself to the experience, because it is so just like one thing I noticed that he did a lot in his songs was that he would have these loops of these sort of ancestral recordings of these sort of melodies, and they would all remain kind of in the same key or with the same melody. Okay. And he would play over them, but then he would sort of transpose the chords so that what's sort of it's I don't know if it makes a lot of sense to explain, but what is repeating stays the same, but what he's doing is sort of growing and expanding over top of it.
Wow.
And sonically, just like genius.
Wow.
Yeah. Super cool.
Yeah. No, I cannot wait for this. I think it's going to be amazing.
Is it April 3rd?
April 2nd is when he performs.
Right.
And we've got stuff going on the whole weekend. Yeah. And we decided, like, okay, we're doing an event, but let's not, like, we've got to still focus on our main event in fall. So let's keep it as simple. And how can we do that? By featuring alumni artists whose projects we know how to produce. So we looked through 5 years of CB Nuit and invited a handful of artists' projects. So they'll be installing their projects in the lobby.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I didn't know there was sort of a double component to it like that.
Yeah, there's that.
That's really cool.
And then we looked at the music artists that we've had in CB Nuit. You're one of those people. And we thought we could do like a singer-songwriter circle, bringing them together on stage. And we're doing that on the Sunday at 4 p.m.
Which is April 3rd, right?
April 3rd, that's
right.
Right,
so it's kind of like a little mini festival. Seems like. Yeah.
That's it, yeah.
And Jerry
Jerry Hollett is like facilitating or hosting it, yeah.
Cool. So yeah, Jerry of the Once, who we also interviewed here a couple months ago, and she's the most delightful, sweet person ever. So
she's amazing. I saw the interview too. It was very interesting.
Oh yeah, it was fun. Phil was really going somewhere new.
Yeah.
He
really dug in there. It was like, whoa.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time together in the studio, so I feel like conversation could veer like tree branch into these very strange places.
Yeah.
With him, but,
and it was really interesting.
Thanks. Yeah, it was fun to chat with those guys for sure. But yeah, so just for anyone listening, are there still tickets left for either of those events? Do you know?
There are.
Okay.
There are tickets. And because like CB Nuit is normally free, so we really wanted to keep those prices really low.
Right.
So it's $20 to see Jeremy Dutcher, which is
that's amazing.
A song and a dance. Like that's a steal.
Yeah.
And then $10 for the singer-songwriter circle.
Right. Wow.
We've got Sherman Downey on the stage, and Phil and Jerry and yourself and Scott and Lloyd Bartlett and Paul Pike. So it's going to be really sweet.
It's going to be really cool, yeah. And you guys, I know you really prioritize sort of. It's so nice that you prioritize kind of supporting your artists well, like making sure that they're
Thank you.
paid well. Yeah, it's a really. I think it's a transparent, like something that should be made transparent for the community, because I've really respected that. Like you guys do that, and you know, another festival that does that really well is Långyvånget. I think it's something that's sort of it's sort of shifting in favor of the artists in that way. So to have
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, Långyvånget. That's a great festival too. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, I actually spoke with a person from Långyvånget just recently, and someone else from Wonderbolt, and they wanted to pick my brain about how to set up an art and night festival in St. John's.
Oh, cool.
So I gave them the recipe. I gave it away.
That's awesome. That's good. Everyone's just handing the recipe on.
That's it. I think it's important, you know. If someone did it for me, like actually Nocturne's executive director, Lindsay Ann Corey, reached out to me, I think it was in the 2018 festival or that year, and said, you know, there's a bunch of us in Atlantic Canada that are doing the same thing, art at night festivals.
Yeah.
Can we like talk regularly and just share and help each other and support each other? And I was like all over that because I knew nothing.
Yeah, of course.
So
yeah.
it's like, yes, definitely.
Yeah.
And then, so we've been like talking for 4 years together, and now we've actually incorporated. We've created an organization called AANFA.
AANFA, right? Yeah. Arts.
It's
at
Art
Night.
at Night Festival of the Atlantic Alliance.
Okay, cool.
Atlantic's at first, actually. Atlantic Art at Night Festivals Alliance.
Okay, gotcha.
Nice. I always get the two reversed, actually, so
acronyms
I get
tricky.
that. But yeah, we've incorporated, and it's we've got a digital conference happening this month.
Right, and are you going to be speaking on a panel for that?
Well, tomorrow is actually our last speaker series, and it's actually a more intimate conversation with me and Kate McDonald of Nova Scotia. She's African Nova Scotian, amazing. Like what she's accomplished in her young years is incredibly impressive. She comes from theater background, but she's an activist. She works a lot with youth. She's developed incredible workshops to help marginalized communities, anti-racism stuff. She's just incredible. Cool. And I'll be talking one-on-one with her tomorrow.
That's awesome. So
4:30.
4:30 on March 23rd is tomorrow, correct?
That's it.
In case this isn't. If this is out before then how can people?
Not likely, but yeah. So that's it's been really great. And our virtual West Street's going to be featured in the digital.
How can people access that sort of discussion if they do catch wind of it and do want to tomorrow? Yeah,
if they wanted to maybe catch the one next week, they would go to AANFA's website.
Okay, and that's www. Is it AANFA?
2 A's off the top, yep.
Okay, .com?
Yep, that's right. Yeah.
So AANFA.com
if
anyone wants to check out this one or future discussions. It seems like a really I didn't even know about it before we talked about it, so it's a really cool
It's
resource.
New. It's fairly new, so not a lot of people know about it. I mean, we just incorporated this past year, and we've got great plans for Corner Brook. Like we're talking we've got 6 festivals here, so you know how the Fringe Festival works.
Yeah,
right?
The Halifax Fringe.
Right? So if somebody gets on a Fringe tour, they're touring the entire country with their show, right?
Yeah.
So imagine an artist from Corner Brook doing the AANFA tour, going to all those Art at Night festivals with their project, right?
That's sort of a dream for artists, I think, because even, trying to get into one festival and then booking kind of a tour or something around that doing the circuit like that would be so great for artists.
It would be so great. And you get the support of the organization to try to, help you plan it, that kind of thing. So that's one of our plans in the future, but right now we're all about sharing and supporting one another, which has just been amazing.
It's a really beautiful. I mean, uh, CB Nuit is such a beautiful festival, and I feel that sort of
Thank you.
sense of it was just so support. Like even just the emails were so nice, and like you followed up. Like we played there last fall, and you followed up with sort of a nice message after, and it was just a really great. It was a really great feeling to be a part of that. I think that everybody was feeling that in the air. Like it's just, especially in light of
nice.
a pandemic and people have been so separate. And it was outside, so it was still like, it still felt safe enough, you know, with the distancing and everything like that too. So that was a really nice kind of middle ground as well because.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah,
Nice to hear.
yeah, it was super cool, and no, I know a lot of people really appreciate it. So the next CB Nuit, I guess, will be. Is it in this coming September? Is that the?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's right. It'll be in September. We've got the dates set for this 16, 17. Like the festival night will be the 17th of September.
Ooh, cool. Is that a Friday or a Saturday?
Saturday night. It's always a Saturday. And then the Friday night event is the community project event where people can come, and we usually have meet and greets for artists and sponsor events and that. But really the big night is Saturday.
Cool.
That's the one you need to know about.
Yeah, so anyone who's
come
sort
on
of
out.
Yeah, you should come out. It's September 17th, Saturday evening, free event. The website is very much, you know, even if people like don't live here or can't make it to the event, it's sort of an organism unto itself.
Yep.
In terms of,
and we do our best with the help of CNA, actually, the film school, the CNA Film School, and we're hoping to have them on board again this year because it worked out really well last year. They set up a little sort of broadcasting team with their students, their film students.
Oh, cool.
Where they're in twos, and they go and they capture, little bits, video, the live projects.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
and then they
cool.
send the file, and the file gets downloaded to the virtual
That's so nice.
West Street. So that if you're sitting at home, you really can't get out, and you're sick or the festival's not accessible to you physically, you can sit at home and enjoy the whole thing.
That's so great. That's a beautiful kind of, for the fact of the way that the difficulties of pivoting in light of the pandemic, certain things like this have emerged that are so great because, before the pandemic, there were also a lot of people who maybe couldn't physically access a festival, not just because of being immunocompromised. So I think that, one beautiful thing that's sort of come through the community arts world, sort of in light of the pandemic, not to glorify it, like the pandemic, it's always terrible, but like
something good came out of it, which is really, really great.
Which is, really, really nice. Yeah. And it's that, I think, because, there've always been people who can't really physically access spaces, especially really populated spaces. So now, this is possible. I know there are a lot of people in, smaller communities in Newfoundland and stuff too, who can't always get out for things. So if anyone's interested, which it's a really lovely time.
And the social movements too, like the Black Lives Matters movement, has also very much affected us. I mean, we already really tried to reach out, but it just, when that happened, it just put a focus on it, and it really, it gave us more energy to put towards that, and to really try to create a diversified festival and really try to reach out to those little communities like the New Canadians. Like, there's art everywhere, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, what would you like to do? And we're trying to create a call for submission that is much more open and less, I'm going to use the word, colonial.
Yeah.
It just like kind of, CV is optional. Right? Just let us know what you have in mind. And let us know what you want to do. Like, you're thinking about this and this and what you've been working as an artist, self-trained for 40 years in your little cabin. Like, what do you want to do? You know what I mean? Like, just like trying to get everybody so that we can really represent our full community,
That's really nice.
Yeah.
Actually, that's a really nice kind of thing to bring up, because I do think that can be an issue sort of in terms of accessibility sometimes, because there's just some amazing artists, amazing creators, but they might not be
brave enough to feel that they can
Yeah, like it can be
Sorry to interrupt,
daunting.
but
Oh no,
yeah.
exactly. It can be daunting just the full sort of application process, like
Yeah.
just the
Yeah.
notion of even like I think I only heard the word CV when I was doing my master. I mean, I know lots of people have heard that word. I don't know why I hadn't heard it yet, but I was like, that's
Got
just
slow
kind
to
of
pick it
strange,
up,
actually.
whatever.
But yeah, like that's just I know a lot of people who are so daunted
Can
by
be
it.
so intimidating. I
Yeah.
mean, even after my training in university and everything, I still felt intimidated to send my stuff out, and
Yeah.
so we're also offering support. Like that's part of it too. If you're feeling like you want some help with the application, like we're here to help you.
Cool. That's really nice.
We've got a nice, variety of artists in our board and our team that can support with whatever discipline or that too. So
That's so nice. Is that when are the applications open?
Oh
When's it
my
called?
goodness. It usually goes out sort of around the end of March, beginning of April.
Okay.
With this event, we're scrambling to get it out in time. So it might be a week late or something 2 weeks late, but it's going to be out in April.
It's coming up. Okay, cool. So that's another thing for our viewers to keep in mind. If you have any projects you want to apply for the festival, keep your eyes peeled, or is it
Keep your
ears
eyes
peeled?
peeled.
Yeah.
Keep your ears,
kind of
eyes
words.
peeled, both of them. Just don't get them really peeled, but
Peel it all,
peel
but
it
only
all.
slightly.
Lots of peeling, yeah.
And
find
the
it on our
website.
website, find it on our social. Drew Party does a great job to get the word out.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. And is there anything else you wanted to sort of mention before we sign off here today?
Yeah, no, I don't think so. I mean, our spring event's coming up. It's April 2nd and 3rd, and there's still a lot of tickets available, and we'd love to see people come out. And it's a full weekend, all ages event.
Oh, great. That's good to know. And that's Arts and Culture. So Arts and Culture website is the best place to get tickets for that?
That's where you go.
Okay.
Exactly.
And it's currently, just for clarity, they have, so the masking is no longer mandatory, and they're at 75% capacity, but
That's
masks are recommended.
That's right. And
Okay.
our whole team will be wearing masks, and artists will be, told to wear, or not told, but asked to wear masks as well.
Yeah.
Just to help people feel safe. And yeah, but you don't have to. It's encouraged.
Okay.
And it's a fairly large space, and we haven't overcrowded it, so you'll feel like you can circulate in there, comfortably as well.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
yeah, and there'll be stuff. Oh, and there'll be a marshmallow roast outside with our fire bowl, our CB Nuit fire bowl.
Oh, nice.
That the fire department made.
What?
Yeah, one year it
sweet.
was like, can you guys come and just do like a fire, like just make a fire and like have a marshmallow roast and come in your costumes and stuff. Like the kids will love that.
Cute.
And they show up and they're like, so what do you want to do? Like, where do you want the fire? I'm like, just anywhere. And, what do you want to use for the fire? I'm like, well, can you guys come up with something? It's an art festival.
Yeah.
So they were so excited. They went back to the fire department, and right behind the fire department, they welded this beautiful bowl, which was made of like the inner, like metal part of a huge truck tire.
Oh my God.
And they
cool.
put the legs onto it, and then they welded CB Nuit on the side.
Oh my God, artists.
I know.
That's amazing.
I know. And then last year, Jenny Brake added some beautiful detail to it.
Wow. So that'll be there on the Saturday or the...
That will be there on the Saturday in the parking lot.
Cool. Before or after the shows?
During the daytime, sort of kid-friendly kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. That's awesome.
Yeah. Probably. Yeah. Well, we haven't actually nailed down that time, but definitely we were just talking about the other day. We'll have it like early afternoon so people can come and roast a marshmallow, maybe even a hot dog.
Cool. So people can kind of come through, roast a marshmallow, check out the artists that are set up inside, and then attend the show, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of a full afternoon.
Yeah. Full day offering.
Cool.
And then Sunday again with different things. So, yeah. Great.
That's really awesome. I can't wait to both play that show and also attend Jeremy's. I'm going to grab a ticket actually today after we finish this interview. I'll probably grab a ticket because I've been meaning to. Thank you so much, Louise.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for having me and giving me the opportunity to talk about the festival, because it's it's Corner Brook's festival now, and it's because of this community's strong love of the arts that it has blossomed. So, really happy.
It's great. It's please guys check it out. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
We'll we'll have a
We'll talk.
we'll see
We'll
you
talk
all
soon.
soon.
Thank you.